And welcome back, fans. We had a slight delay here today in Kings. Some technical difficulties getting our referees here on site, but things are now sorted and we're ready to go. The cold snap is over in Toronto, and Kings Christian's ready to host Durham in town. The voice of the OSBA, Max Hurst, is not with us this evening. Steve Bauer joined by former Olympian Alicia Tatum. Alicia, welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be doing this with you guys today.
We're really excited to have you. So, on tap tonight, we also have Tamara Tatum as our halftime guest, who will be doing an interview, two-time Olympian as well, and the sister combo. Alicia and Tamara both played Team Canada together for a period of time, two of our great athletes out of Canada. Tonight we have on tap Kings Christian tied for first in the standings. Technicality, I guess, might make them second. Durham also a top four team, so we're excited for the head-to-head matchup. Durham coming out in their traditional black uniforms, trademark of it, and Kings will be in their white. Coming out for Durham as the starting lineups, we have Washington, Chadwick, O'Hara, Demeke, and Bailey. As we await Kings starters to reach us, Alicia, any thoughts on things for tonight that you're looking forward to with the OSBA?
Yeah, I've really seen and heard a lot about Kings Christian and the talent that they have on their team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they come out, especially with a little bit of a slow start we had here with some hiccups with the referees. But I really want to see how they're going to come out and how they're going to come against a team that has been doing really well in Durham Elite. I mean, they had some really great matchups this year where they beat Lincoln in a really crazy match. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all come together to begin.
Yeah, and a great point, Alicia. We're coming out of the Christmas break, or the holiday break, pardon me, and that can be always a challenge for the athletes' first game back, and also the delay here tonight. So we'll see how we respond. Kings opens with Mora, Boers, Oriami, Neal, and Soriano. Tip goes to Durham, and we're underway here in Kings Christian. Washington early penetration finds O'Hara in the corner. That three won't go. More the early rebound.
Very great, very great possession on the first play for Durham. She came right down into the center of the key, drawing in the other defender, and then hitting to her open player in the corner for a nice shot.
Oriami responds for Kings with a three-pointer of their own, and they take a quick 3-0 lead here at home. Both teams getting their top scorers involved in the first possessions. Durham goes back inside, and up and under for Bailey, and they're on the board. 3-2, Kings leads.
Great step through, great patience down there on the block against a player that's the same size as her, really using her fakes and getting a great shot up.
Boers gets a clean look for Kings. That won't go. Rebound goes to Demeke, and she comes out breaking for Durham the other way. Demeke goes coast to coast, a little strong on the release. Battle ensues on the baseline, and it's going to be Kings' ball. Kings coming back in now. Looking for more on the inside. They're going to get a touch towards it, but Chadwick's going to break that up. O'Hara comes back the other way. Demeke in transition. That's going to be challenged. Great block by Neal. It continues to go back and forth. Bailey gets a tip on it. That's going to go back to Demeke now. And the pace continues to go seesaw early on. Chadwick gets a little tied up. Probably fooled herself with a move there. Looked like shot fake jab. Travel call. Kings ball.
I'm liking how Durham's coming out defensively. They're coming out with a lot of pressure on the wings and on the ball handlers, and they're getting some great opportunities to get back to the other end and look at some at getting some great things at the rim. Now we're looking to see them finish a couple of those.
Great point. And we go back to Kings again. They're looking for more, but again, Chadwick gets a tip on it. It's going to be Washington now coming out the other way. She looks up, gets Demeke in traffic. She gets it to go and one. Splits two defenders, puts it high on the glass, draws the foul. On Oriami's the first foul call of the night.
Great, smart move in the open court by Washington. She just came in. She noticed the defender coming. She did a really quick move to get by her and then finding her player after drawing the defender closer to the rim. giving an open basket and an easy layup for an and one.
And Demiki converts the three-point play, gives them their first lead of the evening at 5-3. Oriami's going to get another touch now at the high post, looking for more again. Boers cutting to the rim. That won't fall. O'Hare with the rebound, and Durham's off and running again. They got Washington transition, 2-on-2. She's going to square up, but they're going to look for a diving. O'Hare won't find her. Demiki from the left side is going to let it go. That's short. Rebound Soriano.
Great possession. I almost wish.
And Mora comes right back. Soriano stretches it out to the wing. Mora down the middle, gets the pass, takes the contact, puts it up, and gets the M1.
On the other end, I almost wish that O'Hara would have stayed with that seal. You know, we got it to the second player. She could have stayed with that seal, resealed a little bit, and she probably could have got something easy inside.
Mora makes good on the end one as well. And they're going to show now. King shows a little bit of pressure, and the pressure does its trick. They get through the first drive. Demiki's going to shuffle her feet. They get the travel, turnover. King's ball sideline.
King's now picking it up defensively to really match the energy of Durham, as Durham came out with some strong energy to start the game.
Horn set now too high. Oriami's going to attack from the high post. He gets knocked loose, but she follows her own. Little float's going to go. It's good for two. Back into pressure.
Putting Oriami at that position in their offense, I think, is a great move for King's Christian. And I think I'll probably see them look to get to that a couple of times throughout this game.
Getting her involved early, certainly. And the last foul on Durham was on Bailey. Thanks to our sideline reporter for bringing that in. Washington explores down the wing, and they're going to look to go back inside out. They're going to get their third shuffle of the feet here on Durham, though. Another turnover to the top. This one, Demiki. Soriano now gets a chance to set things back up, and that's projected by Alicia. They go back to Oriana with a high touch. Ball screen with Mora, gets them the touch they want. They collapse. Neal's going to go from three. She gets a look. It won't go. Mora's there to follow, though. The left hand on the rim. It won't go. Battle out low. It gets kicked last by Kings, and it's going to be Durham ball.
One of the great things about having a player like Mora on the inside, who's one of the top 10 scorers in the OSBA, is that she draws a lot of defenders in. And as you saw, the 5 defenders collapsing on her and giving some open shots for her players.
And Durham came right back themselves. Washington ahead to O'Hara. She couldn't find the hoop there, but got themselves another shot at the rim. You're tangled up on the sideline. It's going to be foul on Bailey, her second. Bringing our first sub of the game. Messiman comes in. Bailey gets a quick breather. Kings tries to go directly into Moore from the sideline. She's met with the crowd. Chadwick's done a real nice job defending that this evening. 3 or 4 tips or touches on passes trying to get to Mora. Slide out of bounds, back to Kings. Boers comes through an elevator screen. But they're going to get one of those moving. Looks like it's on Oriami, and I believe that's her second foul as well. That might put some pressure on Kings. Alicia, Oriami now, 2 fouls early on. Does that change how you play her?
Absolutely. That changed for her because she's got to really back down a little bit, and she can't put as much pressure in terms of probably getting a foul. So she's really going to have to watch out for that because her team's going to need her throughout this game.
And Washington off a high screen finds room to get a little pull-up jumper herself, gets her on the scoreboard. Keeps it a 1-point game. Mora away from the basket's going to get a look. Boer starts to attack. Soriano gets her there for second, but Washington closed that gap. She gets the block. Washington the other way. She's out in space, and she's too good in transition. That's 2 more for her.
Great
Get her 4 straight points.
Great pressure by Washington. Great pressure by Washington.
Come back now. Durham continues to keep the pressure on here. They look for more. Get her a touch now in the paint. She's working hard down low. She's going to draw the contact.
Great patience by Mora down there. She had an option to send it out, but She faked that pass, looked at her teammate, and then went straight up with it, drawed the foul. I think that was a great look for her.
And at the last foul, as we mentioned, Oriami had picked up her second. That forces or brings Hartman into the game now as a sub. Oriami is going to get a chance to get a little bit of breather and maybe a chance to talk about any adjustments on defense. Kings continues again. Ali Larma comes in. Soriano out. Durham is going to match that. Demiki goes out, and in comes Toussaint.
It's going to be a bit of a loss for the Kings Christian team, having Oriami out that early. But we'll see how they make their adjustments as she's out.
And Mora misses both this trip. Washington picks up the defensive rebound. And now we'll see the effect. Oriama out goes. Chadwick gets a shot early in the clock from the top. That won't go. But just into the game, Messerman gets a hand on it. They're going to get an offensive rebound. Then that hits a couple hands, and it's going to end up as Durham ball down in the corner. Messerman brings quite a bit of energy to the floor for Durham. Comes in on a first possession, gets in there on an offensive rebound.
Yeah, already bringing in some great effort and getting in there, pursuing the basketball and allowing her team some opportunities to get some different looks.
King shows a bit of a zone on the baseline. Messerman's got the look early from the top. It gets tipped, I believe, on the way to the baseline. And I stand corrected. That's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be King's ball on the baseline now. Durham shows their first signs of full court pressure. And Chadwick's going to jump in front of that one. She gets the steal. Messerman throws it back ahead. O'Hara, who's in the front of that press now. Chance to convert. It's a little heavy. It's going to get batted around underneath. Moore eventually comes away with it. And now Kings is off and running. Neal in transition, the left hand. It's going to be a little heavy itself. So the rim, Chadwick collects. It's going to get Washington now out in space, and she's going to go through the defense. Her floater's on the front of the rim. Moore's going to rip that down. Some bodies collide, and we have a whistle.
Durham really putting on a lot of pressure defensively. You really think that they probably be up by a little bit more based on how they're playing. A couple of shots not really falling for them, but we'll see how that falls for them moving forward.
Kings is now going to go from their sub. They have Brown coming in for Neal. That foul was on Washington. Oh, Lamara splits through the pressure there on her own. She's going to get Brown now going to the basket, but that's blocked. Toussaint gets a hand on that to the paint. Chadwick's going to have a chance to come back the other way for Durham herself. Chadwick gets a little tied up there trying to find O'Hara. A little miscommunication. That results in a travel ball out of bounds back to Kings.
And you hear the coach or Durham, Krista, really talking about having a little bit more patience offensively for Durham. They're getting a lot of great opportunities defensively and getting some possessions, but maybe making a few more better decisions offensively so that they can really open up this lead.
And we get our first timeout. Great point. First timeout now for Kings. Kings down now 8-9. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. But as you said, the pace has been back and forth for both teams at this time. Durham's really been playing out there. They have a 1-point lead, but do you think they have to make a couple changes here to slow themselves down?
Absolutely. I think they're doing a great job pressure-wise, and they're doing a great job with that. But I think coming into the open court, trying to slow things down and play more team ball to really see if they can get some easy looks at the basket to get some of those points on the board, get a little bit more of that confidence going, and then they can start to play some of that fast stuff that they're doing offensively.
And Kings features two of the top scorers in the top 10 of the OSBA, and both Christina Moore and Midday Oriami. Both of them have all the scoring for them right now. Oriami with 5, Mora with 3. Do they think they need to have some more people start to contribute to this, or can they do it with their two main guns?
They're going to need to have a lot more people contribute. Their guards have got to be ready to shoot. They've got to be ready for the kickouts to be able to score and to shape up for some things at the basket. As I said previously, Mora is drawing in a lot of defenders, so she's going to need her teammates to knock down a few shots for her.
And a deep three on that cue, just as we asked for it. Lamara hits a deep three from way out there, put this thing back into Kings' favor, 11-9. Both teams listening to Alicia in the timeout. Durham comes out with a little bit of a set offense. get themselves a great look for their top scorer. Kashana Washington's going to get an open look at 3 and makes it count. And I'm corrected as it's a long 2. This one's tipped by Washington now. They're going to have a chance to come back the other way. To Saint in transition. She finds O'Hara. She's going to get a chance to go. The spin, up and under. It rolls off. It's tipped around. Kings comes away with it. Hartman now out in transition herself. She's going to find a chance to set up the offense for Kings. Lamara from the top gets them reset. Moore explores from the high post, nothing going. So Brown's going to make a shake. Make something on the bounce for herself. She gets tied up. That's a foul call. Foul on Messam. It's a shooting foul. She'll go to the line for 2. Hartman's now out, and Boers returns for Kings.
Washington bringing a lot of great energy for the Durham Elite team. Not only on the offensive end is she doing some great things, but on the defensive end, she's tipping a lot of basketballs and giving her team some opportunities to get some more possessions offensively.
Washington's so central to this Durham team, absolutely. And now in for Durham, we get Chadwick coming out, Hutchins coming in. Kings showing some of their pressure again. Durham in the backcourt. Washington has a nice little crossover in space. That's going to create a shot for Hutchins. That doesn't go, but Toussaint's got an offensive rebound again. Loose balls and hustle points she continues to earn. Keeps her balance in the corner, but it's a 5-second call. Nice job by Neal on the pressure. Forces the turnover. Tamiki checks back in for Durham. She'll get O'Hara, giving her first breather of the first quarter.
And Durham's still keeping the pressure on that's been helping them early on in the game.
Yeah, they continue to throw some nice long athletes at the front of that thing to make it really disruptive. They get 1 tip, 2 tips, so Morris stays strong. 3rd tip on that thing, but Kings continues to own the ball. Boers is going to get a look in the corner. That's good. Lauren Boers from the corner gets an open 3.
What I like seeing from the Kings Christian team is that they're really staying tough with the ball. They're not giving up easily on those. Durham's very scrappy. They're getting in there. They're getting some touches on the ball. But Kings Christian is really hanging onto the ball and looking for good looks for their players.
And Durham came back with a response themselves. They got Demiki with a clean look. That one didn't go. Messam got them a second chance with her second offensive rebound, but unable to convert into another shot. Kings ball now on the baseline. A change now in Durham defensive front. Lamar's shot's going to be a bit heavy there on the up fake. Washington spins out of pressure there. She's going to be out 2-on-2. She goes to the floater. It's in and out. That bounces back out. There's a bit of a scuffle. Washington gets back into it, though. Falls around. That's ripped away. Lamara gets her hands on it last, and she's going to get them going now. Kings is going to be out in space. Her and Soriano together. Soriano goes back to the floater. She uses the glass, and that's good.
Realizing that one of the Durham Elite players were down, and she continued to pursue and get after the rim, and she really made a great move to the basket to put pressure on the defense.
Yeah, looking up, both guards on together, added a nice dynamic for Kings, and they get a steal now. Neal on the reach-in is able to knock that free. Kings going to recollect themselves on offense, too. And we just have a shot clock correction is what the whistle was here, and that's going to allow a chance for substitutions both ways. Chadwick comes back in for Durham, as does Allen for her first action. Messam and Hutchins will sit. Lamara will be out for Kings, and Latsova will be in now. Latsova comes in, gets the first touch and a clean look from that, and she makes it count. So you come into the game, you get a clean look, and you make it pay. 3 more.
Normally you don't see players come off the bench and just shoot a 3. You kind of want your players to warm up a little bit, but she had the confidence, she was open, and she shot it. It was great for her team.
Yeah, subbed in. Chadwick's going to have a chance to answer, so she comes firing. That's a little short. It hits the second part of the rim there, which threw off the rebounders, and it bounces out of the end line untouched. With a tip, sorry, off Kings. It'll remain Durham ball. O'Hara's going to come back in, and Kings is going to use this chance to give Mora a quick sub at the end of the quarter, and Stupar comes in for the last 45. Chadwick now at the top has a chance to settle. It'll go to Washington. She explores a bit. They get it down low. It's going to be O'Hara in the reverse. It rolls into the rim, and a nice touch as that goes down. 2 more for O'Hara.
Great quick move down on the baseline, getting by her defender and finishing with the other hand on
and
the left
tip
side.
here, Demiki jumps in. Demiki gets the steal. She gets possession. Neal tries to foul before it gets away, but it will be a clear path. Demiki had established the ball and herself between the defender and the hoop. She'll get 2 shots now and the ball back.
And with the lead, not really wanting something like this to happen at the end of a quarter. Unfortunate for the Kings Christian team.
Demiki's a bit heavy on the first. As Alicia pointed out, there's only 24 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Demiki will get 1 more, plus Durham will remain possession of the ball. Demiki good on the second. We'll take on these fouls. The ball comes in at half. Demiki's up to the center court line. Durham will have 24 seconds to work here in the quarter. An errant pass is going to be knocked away by Soriano, and Kings is going to take possession of that. They'll get 15 seconds of themselves to work here at the end of the first quarter now. Trailing 20-13. Soriano goes in. She fires cross court to Boers. She's going to attack off that too. And she's met near the rim. That's going to draw a foul. Chance for her to take 2 shots herself. Foul on Demiki, her second of the quarter as well. Boers now at the line shooting 2. Boers good in the first. Little heavy on the second. Durham's going to tackle that. Washington gets off. She gets a 3-pointer off. It's good in time, and it's going to go! Washington takes the rebound. 2 dribbles later. Pull up with a defender in her face. She makes the 3 count. And we can come to the end of the first quarter. We've got a score of 21. We're looking for a ruling on that last shot. It was a 3 or 2, but we're going to go with 21-17 for the time being. We'll get a final word for that. Alicia, thoughts on the first quarter?
Very interesting first quarter. Both teams were a little bit worried if they were going to come out a little bit flat based on what happened at the beginning of the game, but they both came out with a lot of energy, and it was great seeing both of them go back and forth. Durham really picking it up defensively. I mean, I love the defensive intensity they came out with in the first half, but I also love Kings Christian's composure on the offensive end, and that's why they're up by 21-17, because they really had a lot of great composure offensively. But that last play was really interesting. I mean, any team with Washington on their squad, I think I'd want the ball in her hands with the shot clock winding down at the end of a quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, and she made gold of that. 1 quick outlet pass, and 2 dribbles later, they had the 3 points. So, Alicia, at the first time out, we talked a bit about the scoring being top player heavy. Are there other scoring things with Oriami and Mora doing all the lifting for Kings? Since that point, though, neither one has scored, and they continue to put on to the lead. Do they think they need to go back to Mora and Oriami, or is it working using the rest of the team for Kings right now?
I think right now it's working using a lot of the rest of the team. Eventually, they are definitely going to need to continuously get Oriami and Mora really involved offensively, because I think they're going to need them throughout the game. But it's always great to have your teammates really contribute around the time when your starters or your main players are not very active. Oriami with foul trouble, Mora getting a little bit of a rest because she played the majority of the first quarter. You want your teammates to contribute so that once you come back on the floor, you have a great lead to start with.
And we're now back in for the second quarter. Both Mora and Oriami will start on the bench for Kings. Some good movement on offense early on for Kings. They're going to try and go one side to the other. Back to Soriano, who's going to try and make some offense happen. She gets in there. There's a hand. The ball gets knocked away. A little confusion on the sideline, but it's still maintained. Now that's going to be on the floor. It's loose. And there was a football during that process, which is going to put it back to Kings now. They're going to do new 24 with the kickball ruling from the referee, and we're back in play for Kings. Durham showing some zone defense here. Soriano's going to go from the corner. That's a bit heavy, but Boers is there on the far side. Boers out back to Soriano's going to go right back inside. A great in-out, but the ball's knocked away. Quick hands by the defenders of Durham.
Kings doing a great job of moving the ball around quickly, finding open players, drawing defenders, and doing them some extra passes.
And now we see the return of Oriami for Kings. First time since she picked up the second foul. Boers finds Oriami. She comes right back into the game, gets right to the rim and gets 2 points. Her presence is felt immediately.
Great first possession for her, coming back to get her really back into the game and getting her flow and her mojo back.
And they'll use that now to bring in more on the next possession. So well-timed subs there for Kings. They got more a lengthy breather around the first intermission, but probably only missed about 90 seconds of game time. Kings is going to go zone on the baseline. Durham finds a cutting Chadwick, who's going to go left hand. Nice touch off the glass. 23-19, we have the lead right now, and Kings is going to have a chance to square back up for Mora. But Chadwick again gets another steal on the entry pass.
Chadwick doing a great job in the middle defensively. She's really making it tough for Mora, not making her passes and some of her looks easy.
Chadwick gets a chance from the top. It's a clean look. That one's just a little short for her. Durham chases it, but it's going to go out of bounds before they can get a touch. It's going to be Kings' ball now. And now Kings is going to come back to Neal in the lineup as well, too. So we have Neal, Mora, Oriami, Alamara, and Boers for Kings. Oriami from the top. That's going to be snuffed out, but there's a couple hands on her a little early as she tries to make the pass out. That'll draw the foul. St. picks up the foul. To St. Thomas, Bailey, Chadwick, and O'Hara respond for Durham as a lineup right now. Durham will go zone on the end line. Lamar's shot's going to be a little short. Hits a hand on the end, but I believe it was Oriami's. It's going to make it Durham's ball. Bailey now squares up, facing some pressure as they're going to size up what King's showing as a front. Durham has no problem, attacks the front of it. They get to the middle. Ball moves well, finds an open shooter at the top, and Bailey can't get it to go. Durham's had some shots, but can't get him to fall right now. Alicia?
Great possession for Durham. They moved the ball really well as a team. You really wish that they probably would have gotten that shot to kind of finish off such a great possession.
Moore's going to face a double team, but she's going to spin away from it, put it right in the rim, and it rolls out. Nice move versus the double team, but couldn't get it to go. Beautiful pass, O'Hara over top of the defense. Almost like a football play. Throws on top of the safety. She catches that and lays it in for a quick two.
On that last play, Mora did a great job of just getting low and really using her pivots to get around some of those defenders, which are very, very effective against players, especially in the post.
Oriami's three won't go. We're going to have a rebounding foul now on Mora, so she tries to fight around. Chadwick holds position, and Mora will collect her first. O'Hara gets a breather now. Washington coming back into the game for Durham. Do you expect any change of pace with Washington returning for Durham? Chadwick's going to work from the high post. It's knocked down by Neal. A loose ball, but Neal was going to gather it. Now they got Boers up. She's in one-on-one, making a 2-on-2 with Moore join the thing. Passes a bit air, but Oriami's going to be the first one to get a hand on it. King's going to get a chance to reestablish some offense now. Moore's going to try again. It goes back to Moore, who's going to face a double team. Durham had probably three defenders there, but some hands got a little too active. Kolfik's going to come into the game now. That foul, I believe, is on Washington, which would be her second. Kolfik will replace Thomas, getting her first action of the evening. Durham showing a zone on the end line. Kings throws over top of that just to get the ball in. But Neal gets to the heart of the defense. Gets to her left. Can't contain with a little contact, and ball goes out of bounds. Durham's
She did a great
possession.
job of getting into the paint. Now, I really love to see her stop on 2 and then find some of her open players on the perimeter. She had quite a few perimeter players that were open. I think she could have gotten a great shot as a team.
And Chadwick makes the baseline jumper an easy 2. Washington finds her from the top, and we're all knotted up now at 23. Kings looking for more. A lot of physical play down in the post. She's going to battle through it. Draws 2 again, so the ball moves. Out of the double, they find Neal in the corner, but it's short. Tipped by Moore. Gobbled up by Oriami. And a good head fake by Lamara gets her in the air. They look to collide. Looks like a bit of a Charlie horse from the assessment here. She falls hard, and they're just going to check on Bailey, make sure she's okay.
Durham continuing to put pressure on Mora down on the inside. She's getting a lot of pressure. She's handling it very well. Even getting it out to her players on misses, she's still tipping and really working hard down there to get some looks for her team.
And the contact brings in Demiki for Bailey while they get a chance to check her out and ensure she's okay. Durham showing his own defense now in the possession. Still go inside to Mora. She still draws 2. A nice double team there. The ball's tipped by Washington. They're going to call the tip out of bounds. 20 seconds remain. The shot clock is going to remain Kings ball. Oh, and my error, it was 2.0 on the shot clock, not 20, so I called that in wrong. My apologies.
I think everybody was a little confused on the shot clock there.
Back now to Durham's possession. Washington's going to explore from the top. Washington gets a look from the top. She lets it go. It's a bit heavy, but Chadwick's there to gather again. She goes back to the left. That won't go. Morris' tip goes back to the top. Washington's going to regather. She's going to explore. Up to the floater, a nice soft touch. It rolls off the edge. Durham can't get one to go, and this one gets tied up. So we're 4.5 minutes in here, Alicia, to the second quarter, and Kings has only put up 2 points. Anything jumping out to you they may be able to make an adjustment with?
I think their players in the first quarter, some of their players were able to hit down some of the open shots coming out of Mora's passes from the inside. I think they've kind of went cold a little bit, so I think we're going to have to really see some of them knock down some open shots in order to open some things up down in the inside for Mora.
Mm-hmm. And Chadwick's 3 that time down was a little bit heavy, so that won't go. Oriami again on the rebound. She's very active on the glass. A good chance to tie this one up. Letsova's shot was a little heavy to begin with. The tie-up goes to Kings. And this will give a chance to go back to Soriano. She'll come in and give Neal a breather here in the second quarter. 5 minutes remain. 14 on the shot clock. Durham shows zone on the baseline again. They get Moore in the middle. She goes right to the rim against 2 defenders. That's going to fall down. Give Moore her first 2 since the first 5 minutes of the game.
Good recognition by Kings Christian. Anytime a team puts on a zone press or a zone defense within the quarter court, always looking to get inside to the inside. The inside is the place that's really, really open in a zone. And Kings Christian did a great job of reading that and getting it into Mora for a quick bucket.
Good set on the baseline for sure for Kings. Durham came back to Miki with a 3 that didn't fall, but they knocked the ball around. Were able to maintain possession on the end line. But this is tipped by Soriano. Then Oriami collects, and she's tied up. There's a crowd of defenders around there. We'll see who the call is going to go. Washington. We're going to confirm the foul count on Washington. We're getting our sideline reporter checking that for us. Unofficially, we have the count at 3 at the table. We'll get the official word. Oriami back to some high post touches, though, for Kings. She goes right to the hoop. Knocked away off her own leg, though. And we have confirmed that is Washington's 3rd foul.
That's going to be a huge loss for Durham. She's been doing some great things for them on both ends of the floor. It's going to be a loss for them offensively and defensively. Let's see how her teammates pick that up for her.
So Bailey comes back in. Good sign that she's okay after getting knocked a little bit earlier. Ball goes to O'Hara, but gets a little bit loose. It's tipped around. Soriano, nice hands, knock that thing down. She comes out one-on-one with Demiki. She's going to pull back. They look for Mora, cutting down the middle. Mora's going to work. She gets the attention of two defenders, so it goes to Boers. Ball continues to move, but knocked away eventually by Durham as they continue to scramble. And Soriano again the other way gets a steal. She's going to go one-on-one. Nice dish to Oriami, trailing the play. It's left short. Oriami falls herself. It won't go. Mora follows. That's knocked away. They continue another offensive rebound. So the shot won't go. It's tied up. Oriami now goes. And in a chaotic, wild events, Kings Christian keeps the ball alive, eventually draws the foul, had 3 or 4 chances that would not go.
Wow. Wow.
And the foul is going to be on Messam. So just looking down for confirmation what that one came in, and I believe that is her second.
Kudos to Kings Christian for sticking with it. Durham was really trying to put on the pressure, but Kings Christian really stuck with that. And they stuck with the possession, and look what they ended up with, something positive. They have Oriami on the foul line for 2 shots.
Yeah, and it's easy to get, as Alicia's saying, easy to get your head down when you miss the first one, but they just continue to come and earn opportunities.
Constant pursuit of the basketball, and that's exactly what Kings Christian showed on that last possession.
Durham now back to the way against the Kings zone. They're showing us a couple different looks they have already in this game defensively. Ball moves well for Durham, finds it down to the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Bailey's going to have a go. It's a little short, comes out to the corner, but Messam runs that one down. Soriano just misses on the steal, but Bailey attacks going the other way. It's tipped around. Mora's going to rip it, and it's Kings' ball. 26-23 Kings. Oriami gets an open look, and she makes that pay. Left alone, gets herself in a bit more of the rhythm. 9 points for her.
Great confident shot by Oriami. Great screen by Mora.
Soriano with another tip and steal there. Gets knocked around, can't come away with it officially though. And Durham does a nice job continuing to move the basketball. They find Kauflich underneath the hoop. Game of inches sometimes. Almost a steal going one way, a layup in the other way.
That's a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth by both teams, but it's a really exciting game to watch.
Moore very patient against the double, but drags her pivot foot when she gets that contact. And Durham continues to send bodies at Moore, not letting her establish a rhythm. So now Kauflich's going to be out, Chadwick back in. 28-25 for Kings. 2:35 remaining in the first half. Kings stays in the 1-3-1. Moore gets a bit of a tip, but Chadwick regathers. Ball moves well towards the corner, but Demiki was cutting as Bailey was passing. Miscommunication leads to a turnover.
Durham struggling a bit to really find some continuity offensively. You're seeing that they're a little bit out of sync offensively. They're getting great possessions by coming down the floor and getting great defensive possessions, but now you want to see them convert that. You really want to see them convert that on the other end.
Kings comes back. They get a chance going right to the rim for Lamar, but that doesn't go down. Durham collects the rebound. They're coming back the other way. Chadwick underneath the hoop. Back to the left hand again for Chadwick. Hit this thing to one, and Kings was also at the last whistle able to sub out Oriami, so she got through the entire second quarter without gathering another foul. It was shot clock correction here, so she remains at 2 fouls, which she picked up early, Alicia, but now is going to go into halftime with only 2 fouls. So Kings was able to get production and survive the risk of the third foul.
And that's what you want to see as a coach. You're taking that time to sort of put her out there, and you're taking that chance, and you want to see one of your best players be smart and not picking up that second foul, but she's been effective too. So she's been effective with the 2 fouls, so she hasn't really backed up a little bit. She hasn't done anything like that. So you want to see that, and I think a coach could be really happy in seeing that.
And they look back inside to Mora. She's going to double team on the catch. The double team is very quick to Mora right now. She's getting no time to breathe. Nice job by Durham defense. And what they've got is the call on that, I believe, was a travel. So head possession, shuffle your feet, and Kings is going to take a timeout now. 31-29. Alicia, we got a minute 20 to go in the first half. What do you think both teams are trying to do here in the last minute 20?
I think for Kings Christian, really wanting to keep their lead going into the half. For that last possession, I know Mora was there, but you want her teammates to continue to stay with her. They sort of passed it into her and kind of left her hanging out to dry. They left her, and she had nobody to pass it to. So you want to make sure that we're being in great sight for Mora as she's getting double teamed in the middle. And for Durham, you want to see them really get into some sort of sync offensively. We would probably really want to see that in the second half, and I'm sure that's what what they're going to talk about in the locker room at halftime. But for Durham, continuing to keep up the defense, but really wanting to see them convert some things offensively.
Now Durham's in a bit of foul trouble as a team, or at least a bit of a concern now. You've got Washington with 3, we've got Bailey as 3, we've got Demiki as 2, Messam with 2, and they're in bonus here. So is that a factor that you try and consider here in the last minute 20? Is there any different lineups you'll play to help avoid that, or do you just play this minute 20 trying to get yourself in a rhythm going into halftime?
I would definitely probably have a couple of my players that are in foul trouble to sit out for this last minute, because it's really tough going into a second half where all of your key players are in foul trouble. It's going to be tough to play them in that second half, and this game has been pretty close, so you want to make sure that you reserve them for anything that comes down to the wire at the end of the game.
Durham comes out. They're going to get a chance to go a little bit of pressure here. King showed a trap in the quarter court offense. Now we're down to 6 seconds. Durham still on the perimeter. But Bailey's going to get a look as the ball starts to move. It hits the front rim. Messam tracks that thing down but can't corral it, which is going to give it back to Kings. 50 seconds to go. They're in transition. Boards gets behind the Durham defense. A quick 2. So all that work for Durham undone by Boards outrunning them down the floor.
Great look by Lamara, finding Boris down the center of the lane, and great run by Boris to get that shot off.
And Demiki comes right back to the hoop, and Lamara tries to step in there, but she's in the charge circle, so nice no call. Tough finish by Demiki to give them 2 points. We go final 20 seconds here now. Shot clock difference of about 5. Moore gets a touch. She's got another triple team on her, so she gets out the corner. Soriano's going to let it go. It's a bit heavy, though. We got 8 seconds now in the quarter. Bailey finds Chadwick. She's out of transition. Nice pass. O'Hara collects herself. Try to get the contact. Maybe got herself a little off balance. Durham would like a foul call. We're under 1 second to go in the quarter. It's going to be Kings ball on the baseline. Over 90 feet to go here. And the ball is inbounded and touched to bring conclusion to the first half. And an exciting first half, Alicia. We've got Kings up 33-31. As we talked about, there's a little bit of foul trouble. But Kings is also facing some challenge with the double team in the post. What do you think the big changes are for both teams here going into halftime?
It's very challenging for Kings because somebody that they really depend on more down low is really getting a frustrating game because they have double, triple, sometimes 4 or 5 players coming at her. So as we discussed earlier on in the game, she's really going to need some of her teammates to really help out by knocking down some of those open shots. Because when they knock down those open shots, that's what's going to open things up for more, because now Durham has to play them out there. And so that's really going to be key. And we're really going to see some things, I think, from Oriami. I think if we can open up the floor, if Kings can open up the floor for her a little bit in isolating her and getting some looks for her, maybe that's another player that they now have to double or triple team to open some things up for Mora as well.
Yeah, and Oriami with a great first half, as you touched on. She came in, scored early, had the 2 fouls, had a sit, came back, and continued to produce, gave them we've got 9 unofficially points there in the first half, and that's with missing a little bit of time. So I guess the question now for Durham is going to be Washington. She came out, had a wonderful first half, as you mentioned as well, impacted in so many ways, but now it's 3 fouls. Is that going to impact how they play her to start the second half?
Absolutely, because she's such an energy player and because she really gets after it defensively, she's probably going to have to back up a little bit, which is probably going to alter some of the things that she's been doing for them in the first half. But I really hope that for some of her other teammates, they'll start to pick some of those things up defensively. But they'll lose a little bit of that from her because she really gets in there. She tips passes, she tips balls. She makes
So
a
active.
difference for them defensively. It's allowing them to get back to the other end of the floor and create something for themselves offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it'll be interesting to watch. We've got 8 minutes to go in halftime. We're going to take a quick breather. We'll be back for the start of the second half, and at that time we'll be joined by Tamara Tatum, two-time Olympian. And welcome back for the second half. 33-31 Kings lead, and we're joined by special guest Tamara Tatum, two-time Olympian T. Also now the new assistant coach at the University of Toronto. So Tamara, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
So T, you want to get a little bit insight. Tell us a bit about the experiences going to Olympics. You've been to two. You've had to two different venues. You've been to London. You went to Rio. Chance to represent Canada multiple times. How did the experience go? Where's that put you as an athlete?
It's been a great experience. It's an unbelievable experience. I feel that being an Olympian, it's put me in a category that not a lot of people can get to, right? So
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
being an elite athlete, you got to take your game to another level, and I've worked on that for quite a long time, so I'm really happy that I'm where I am now.
Yeah. So, T, you've taken that experience now, you've transitioned into coaching. As I mentioned, you're the assistant coach now at the University of Toronto. What's been the big difference going from athlete to coach?
It's been a huge transition, but at the same time, it's been pretty rewarding as well. So I've played for so long. Now I'm coaching the same sport. So in a way, I feel like I'm still playing the game, but in another way.
Yeah, it's great to have you still giving back. I mean, what a tremendous role model. You've been a long time in Canada, and now to be coaching one of our great programs at the University of Toronto.
Yeah.
So tell me about you've got Lauren Bors playing in tonight's game, coming to the University of Toronto. Tell us about Lauren, how excited you guys are, how that went.
We're super excited to have her come in next year. I think she can bring a lot to our team. I think her shooting abilities and just her court vision, her IQ, her basketball IQ is pretty high. So I think those little things is really going to help us out next year as a team.
Yeah, she's been a great shooter in the OSBA, one of the top three-point shooters. We look forward to seeing her as a varsity blue and how that goes. Now, how's the rest of recruiting going at U of T, and what else is going on there?
No, we got a few other recruits coming in. We're really excited for next season. You know, we're struggling a bit right now. We have a couple of our starters down, but to be honest, we're really looking forward to seeing how we can improve what we have right now and continue to build on what we don't. So, yeah, a lot of the rookies are getting a lot more playing time this year. Two of our starters are down, so we got to look to the bench. We got to look to people to come in and actually come in and perform. And with that, we're really looking to see how people are going to come in and help us next year as well.
And that'll be an exciting finish now for you guys. You're heading in almost the playoff stretch, trying to determine what's going to play out. So we're looking forward to watching the Blues down that part. Yeah. Now, T, one last thing for you. I've heard you and your sister might be having an event here coming up in March. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's really just an event to kind of get out there for the younger athletes in the community. It's really for us to kind of give back what we already learned as basketball players on and off the court. So it's really a mentorship program to help them and just give our expertise, per se, to help mentor young girls, young women on the next level of basketball and also off the court as well.
Well, I can tell you with some bias, having had the opportunity to work with you on our last senior team and knowing Alicia, I think that's going to be just an amazing project going on. Tamara, thanks for joining us. We look forward to catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.
And we jump back in just in time for Oriami to get herself another three-pointer and get that going. That's going to be the first 5 points going to Kings to start the second half. It's going to start with the 37-31. So we get ourselves back settled in. Alicia, first 5 points go to Kings, 37-31, but Washington's back on the floor. What do you think of the first 2 minutes here?
Kings coming out strong offensively. They're really having a great start to the second half. And Durham, again, continuously struggling offensively a little bit, getting some flow offensively, but they're still continuing on with the defensive pressure that they've been doing in the first half that is really working with them to stay in the game.
And they just missed a chance there. Kings has more in transition. Couldn't get the touch to her. They're going to come back the other way. Demiki with the scoop underneath Moore gives them 2 points, and Durham's on the board here in the second half.
Great decision by Demiki. She came down. She saw somebody at a slower pace than her in Mora as a bigger player, a guard going against one of the post players. She used her athleticism to just do a quick fake in and out, to get by her in an easy bucket, extending her long arms to the rim. I really like that move by Demiki.
Yeah, long arms is a great description. She seems to take up so much space. Chadwick on the other end now has just tipped away another entry attempt to Mora, and they continue to make it difficult for Kings to establish the low post presence that's been so pivotal to them all season. Oriami on the pull-up is going to be a little bit heavy. Demiki grabs that rebound. Demiki now exploring in transition. She's going to feel it. She spins back to her left hand. That's heavy off the back of the rim. A nice little move. Surprised the defense. Neal now breaking down, finds Boers out in transition. She's going to look at what's ahead of her. The double team comes from Durham. They chase the ball, and we're going to see it's just thrown away. The pressure from Durham chasing the basketball creates a turnover.
And that pressure is kind of helping with their energy also. You see the bench getting up. They're really getting into it, really bringing a lot of energy to the girls that are playing on the floor. And that's what you would love to see as a coach. You love to see that your players on the bench are not being passive, but they're really contributing by bringing a lot of energy as well.
Defender gets caught on the screen, and Washington makes her pay. They run a little action to the top for her. Defender goes the long way around, and it's 3 points.
And exactly what she brings to the floor. I'm sure Durham is glad to have her back out so she can help them out offensively as well.
This one goes Mora right out to Boers, and Boers comes back with the answer of 3 of her own. So that gets the inside touch that we've been looking for, Alicia, and gets the kick out for 3.
And now Kings wants to see a bit more of that. They want to find their three-pointer shooters.
And Demiki's going to answer, so we're going to go back and forth trading shots right now. Demiki hits 3, and we just can't keep up.
I wonder who's going to hit the 3 on Kings to see it again. Oh.
Boers has a chance at a look, elects to keep the offense going. They look back inside for Mora. She had a great steal, but O'Hara the huge block. Mora's going to fight down there with Chadwick. She comes away with it, Mora ultimately. Cross court for Boers, and they get another 3.
I probably would have put my money on Boris getting that one for the next one. She's a great three-point shooter. Again. They found her. She's knocking it down with confidence. That's exactly what you want to see. This is adding to the excitement that we've been seeing from both teams throughout the game.
Yeah, frantic pace here to set in the second half now. 5 minutes to go. It's going to go back towards Mora. It's tipped away again. Boers going to go to Mora again. This time she gets it and one. Christina Mora's been working hard all game with the bodies on top of her. Double team gets this one to go, and it's going to go to the line with a chance of 3-point play.
And what Boers did a great job in that possession, she really took the ball. She went and she tried to go to the basket with a lot of speed to try to draw the defender and then find Mora on a rotation. So that's exactly what she did to try to get her open. That was a smart move by Boers to get her teammate open and to get her involved.
And Moore's going to get that one to roll to make it a 3-point play. The foul was on Chadwick, her first of the game. And Kings is now back into their pressure. Durham gets to that pretty easily, and Demiki's going to draw a foul on the far sideline. Kings have stretched this out right now. The shooting of Boers and the and one for Morris, 47-39. Halfway through the third.
Demiki coming out with some really great offensive looks for her team and putting a lot of pressure on the Kings offense. She came out, she got a couple of great baskets in the open court, and then now drawing a foul from Kings on the other side as well, coming down in transition.
O'Hara has to go. That won't fall. Toussaint's going to follow in there too after Chadwick had to go with a Mora block, so Toussaint finally converts it, and it continues to be a story of offensive rebounding for teams. We've had great shooting, and we've had teams getting offensive rebounds in one possession. Mora down low, she fields off Chadwick, runs into a second defender in Bailey. She hits the floor to keep the ball alive, and it works itself around to Boers. This one's short. Her first minute of the second half, and Bailey's going to have a chance to come the other way. She's going to explore right towards the rim. Up and in for Bailey. She gets 2 in transition.
Way to put pressure on the defense. She didn't wait for the defense to come back and get set up. She just went straight to the basket, went at her defender, and made a great finish on the inside.
And we're going to have a shot clock correction here is what this whistle is right now. And I think we also have some questions around confirming the score.
They added to both sides.
Confirming the correct score is what the holdup is right now. We have 47-43 showing on your visual at home, but we have 49-43 showing on the scoreboard here in the stadium. So, Alicia, while we get this thing sorted out, this is probably going to slow down here at some point. What do you think is the big stretch now as we go to the end of the third quarter? What's Durham going to do to get themselves back into this thing?
Offensively, I think what they're really doing a great job of is capitalizing on their defensive opportunities. I mean, they've been creating some things for themselves easily on the offensive end just by their defense, and I think that they continue to do stuff like that and finding some openings on some of their fast break plays. I think they'll be right in this, and they'll stick in this with Kings Christian.
48, 43, 47. 47, 47. Because it counts.
So we've had a lengthy discussion here in-house, and in the end, the final verdict was that the scoreboard we were showing you on the OSBA clock was correct. It is 47-43. Just continue to build the reliance on our staff here at the OSBA. They do a tremendous job behind the scenes putting the visuals up, and they were accurate again once more. They're going to get Mora now rolling to the rim. She holds on. Great bounce down low for Mora. Give her 2 more. She's had to work hard, Alicia, but she's got herself to 10.
Yep. Again, drawing other defenders and finding her in the middle of the defense, wide open, and her putting up quickly. That's the key, is putting it up quickly so that some of the other players can't come in and draw to her defensively.
Chadwick has that left hand to go again. I think she's got 8 points with her left hand tonight. Moore comes back and goes to her left hand as well, too. So great finishing skills being showcased here by both teams. Bailey fakes the handoff, keeps it herself. She'll go right to the rim. She gets 2.
Bailey really picking it up for the Durham Elite team offensively. Making some great moves and putting pressure on the defense going to the rim.
And now Oriami's going to get a clean look. That one's going to be a little short. It's tipped around to the top. Neal collects it. She's going to get some space in the middle of the key. It won't go, but Oriami's going to fight for keep it alive one more time. Hers is blocked, and now Durham will gain possession. Bailey's going to continue to go. She spins back. Her floater's going to go, and Bailey's given a nice boost here. 6 points in the third quarter for Bailey.
Kings Christian's going to have to make a bit of an adjustment on Bailey. She's doing a great job getting down the floor, but they need to stop her early, slow her down a little bit so she's not getting into the front of the rim so easily.
And Neal, with a little hesitation, gets herself through the heart of the defense, and she gets 2 points going to her left hand. We'll go back inside now. Durham goes to Chadwick. She goes cross court. That's the clean look for Demiki that won't go. Lamar's going to collect that rebound, come back the other way for Kings. That's the touch they want from Mora. She gets one-on-one coverage. A little heavy for Mora. Oriami saves it, but just out of the reach of Lamara.
That was probably the best and probably the easiest look that Mora was going to get.
Yes.
All game.
That's probably the first one-on-one she's had.
And you almost wish it's like, you kind of wish that she would have gotten it. But no, that's probably the easiest look that she's going to get all game. And she's been doing a great job of just handling that pressure and keeping her composure.
So Durham continuing here to go without Washington for a little bit of stretch, giving her a chance to collect some time on those 3 fouls. Bailey doing a wonderful job subbing in. Demiki is a little bit short on that pull-up. Kings will collect. They're holding a 53-49 lead, but Durham's done their job. They put themselves right into this thing still.
Absolutely, and with somebody like Washington out of the lineup right now for Durham, having players like Demiki and Bailey coming in and contributing and really getting after it offensively and putting pressure on Kings Christian, that's what you want to see as the coach for Durham Elite.
Oriami collects that offensive rebound on cue to this, and then O'Hara gets her first foul, preventing her from the putback. So she'll go to the 2. Oriami will go to the line for 2. And the first is a bit to the left. She'll get a second chance at this. We've got a minute and a half here to go in the third quarter. And most of that foul trouble we talked about in the first half has now dissipated some. It's less of a burden on both teams. Oriami's good in the second.
Absolutely. The foul count is really looking evenly matched now. Players are playing a little bit more smarter defensively.
Against the zone, they skip to the top. O'Hara gets a clean look, and that's going to be down. So the 3-point barrage continues, and O'Hara joins on.
And the three-point shooting by Durham has really got them back into this game.
Here's Mora. She's got one-on-one because she's way out there, but a nice little move, draws the double team. Shot's going to go heavy over the challenging Demiki. Bailey's going to collect about 1 minute to go here. Demiki's open in transition, so she just pulls uncontested for 2 points, and we've tied this thing up. 45 seconds to go.
Great span for Demiki. She came over. She came as that help side defender on Mara, really altering her shot, getting the rebound, and then coming down and finishing on the offensive end. That's what you want to see. You want to see that. You want to really see a player get rewarded for the great defensive effort that they did on one end of the floor.
And then Bailey fights for that rebound, pops it free. Here she comes to transition again where she's been so good. And a tough acrobatic finish going left to right. Don't even know how it got above the rim, and it goes for Bailey. 8 points in the quarter.
Wow, almost looking like Stephen Curry out there.
And Bailey again picks up another one. Here she comes. She got 8 seconds to go. She finds Demiki in transition. She gets it to go. So a quick turn. Bailey on both possessions under 10 seconds converts them 4 points. And those 4 points are the difference going into the fourth quarter. Durham now has their first lead in the long stretch, 58-54.
Again, that Demiki-Bailey combination. They came in and just killed it in the third quarter for their team. With Washington being out, having them contribute at that pace offensively is what's really keeping them in the game and now giving them the lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are the players, the coach, the team for Durham Elite, you are happy with that contribution that their team made both defensively and offensively in the third quarter. It was a great third quarter by Durham Elite.
Yeah, and really exciting. We had a 27-21 third quarter. I mean, an absolute explosion of offense, both teams scoring. But as you highlighted, we had 8 points from Bailey, and then we had another 9 points from Demiki. So 17 points from those two pick up the slack. So we were pretty reliant on Washington when we talked about what Durham had to do in the second half, but we've had two other people step up and pick up that slack as she was dealing with the fouls.
Absolutely. They've done such a great job offensively in this third quarter, and you want to see that as a Durham coach. You want to see that continue in the fourth quarter to help for them to stay in this game and to continue to put a lot of pressure on the Kings team that is at a higher rank for them on the board. So you want to see them continue to do well on the offensive end, to continue to do well.
Yeah, and this has been what we've hoped for. You get a chance to come to Game of the Week. You get a team tied for first in Kings. You get a top 4 team in Durham. We get them head-to-head. We're here at Kings on their home gym. But, I mean, what a great game this has been, back and forth the entire time. Now Durham holds a 4-point lead with 10 minutes to go. Now, Mora's faced the double team all game long. As you mentioned, she might have had the one chance in the third quarter where she didn't have a double team. Do you expect them to continue that because of the success Durham's had all game long, or do you think there'll be any change to the defense here?
Absolutely. I think if Durham wants to continue to keep the lead where it is and have them get opportunities offensively, they're going to continue to double team her. It's been working for them all game. I can't see them going away from it for the fourth quarter. They've been doing a really good job with it.
They've done a tremendous job. I mean, Mora still does have 12 points, but she's had to work extremely hard to get all 12 of those points, and nothing has come easy for her. So they've been exceptional getting the challenges on the passes coming into the post, and they've been very early on the double team. So I agree with you. Durham's done a tremendous job on Mora, and it's a hard-earned 12 points that she's carrying at this stage.
Absolutely.
So Washington is on the floor again now for Durham and gets the first touch of the fourth quarter. The hot hand of Bailey now is going to have a chance to look. It'll go 10 seconds to go, shot clock. Back to Washington. She's going to create a pull-up three. That's going to go. Washington gets the fourth quarter started with a three-pointer of her own. Step-back three when nothing was really happening on offense. And that's what it's like to get Washington back on the floor.
Tough shot. That was a tough shot. Very well done by Washington.
Now Durham's putting some pressure on the Kings, and they're going to have to respond. They're going to have 5 on the shot on themselves. A late ball screen involving Mora. Soriano's going to get a clean look. It's a bit off. Collected by Allen, and Durham's coming back in transition the other way. Chadwick against Mora from the top. It's poked away. Here comes Soriano. Soriano has Chadwick, takes a look at, but then decides to go inside to Mora. Double team comes, she goes away from it. Shot looks like it may have been tipped. Washington space gets by the first row defense. Floater hangs to the right of the rim, doesn't go down. Kings collects. Soriano will get them set down this end. Oh, Lamar is going to attack. Soriano 3. That's a bit heavy.
Not the best few possessions for Kings Christian. If you're the coach for Kings Christian, probably a little upset at your team for those past few possessions offensively.
And Bailey probably has her first miss of the second half unofficially. I mean, that one still got to the front of the rim, but it won't go down. And Kings now feeling a little desperate for a bucket or some offense to get going. Soriano looking inside. Morrow's working hard in there. But it's going to be Bors from the corner under 2 seconds to go. Pull up, and she's fouled on the pull up. Bors gets that to go, ripping through the reach-in foul. So the foul is going to be on Allen. The basket counts for Bors. She's going to go to the line with a chance for an and one on the pull-up. A very unique and one opportunity on the pull-up jumper.
Absolutely. You don't often get to see those buckets or those opportunities in the women's game, especially in high school game, and it was great. That was a great move by Lauren, and it was great to see her sort of knock it down. And again, in the third period or in the third quarter, you're seeing a lot of great things out of Bors. She's done a great job of hitting some threes and knocking down some threes and opening up the floor for Mora, so hopefully she can continue that in the fourth quarter for her team.
And then Durham came back. They got Washington into some space. She was so explosive, got right to the rim for her patented floater. Moore does a nice job challenging it, and it gets knocked out of bounds for the rebound. So it's going to be Kings ball now. 61-57 Durham. 7.5 to go. And a seesaw battle that's been exciting from the start right through here to the fourth quarter. Oh, Lamar shots blocked by Chadwick, but Mora's there. She fights it up onto the rim as well. And it might be just as good as an opportunity she can get for Mora's off a block shot going to her.
And one thing that Mora is doing a really great job at is that she's continuing to stay active. You see her going to see if she can set screens for her teammates. She's staying active. She's not staying in one place. So she is putting pressure on the defense in that way, that she's getting around, she's being active, she's moving around.
And Chadwick gets a go from the top there as well. So Mora gets into the defense, helping there. Chadwick gets open at the top, and she makes the three-pointer count. Chadwick on the steal down at this end now. Now they got Washington. She's in a foot race trying to get the ball. She tracks it down, has to dribble right through, but treads it back underneath. The ball's tipped. Can't be contained, and then the shot ends up being heavy from Hutchins on the follow. Washington ran that thing down, looked like a track meet, but then unable to convert the 2 points. Bors left alone for a second. She's going to go. That goes down, but pops back out. It won't fall. Washington gets over top of Bors, and she knew it. A bit of a carry when she tried to get across the body.
The fast-paced game has really been working for Durham. Coming offensively has really been working for them. It'll be interesting to see if they try to slow things down. Now that they have the lead, maybe try to see if they can get some good looks, get some time off the clock, work Kings through some defense and through some offensive sets defensively. We'll see how they decide to see what they decide to do moving forward.
And Oriami with a nice take there, an athletic attempt at it, but it's a bit heavy. So he's going to go for Messman. That's also heavy, and Moore's going to take chase. She rips that down. 3 Durham defenders around her, and it's going to be a foul call on the rebound. That foul call is going to be on Chadwick. It'll be her second foul, and we held our breath for a moment as Washington was in the area and just curious where that call was going to go.
Isn't her second?
So Kings comes down. Neal will start the possession off for them. Bors, Oriami, Mora, who takes a shot from the top that won't go. And Stupar is also on the floor, who gets the offensive rebound to keep that alive, is the 5 for Kings right now. Ball moves. Neal's going to have a chance to go. She gets in there. O'Hara with a nice challenge, but Neal softly off the glass gets 2 to go down for her.
Great thing I love that Neal did there is that she really saw a defender coming out her at her closeout. The best thing you want to do in a player that's coming out you on a closeout, you want to drive on that. You want to try to get to the rim, catch them off guard. They're coming at you with full speed, hit them on a drive to the basket.
And then Oriami gets the shot fake, 1 dribble pull up. That's just like you practice it. That one's going to go. I believe we've got a late timeout coming in here, and that's good to go. So referee stops that one. We've got 5:11 to go now, Alicia. 63-64. Durham holds on to this 1-point lead. But we've seen on the last two baskets, we've had Neal on the attack. We got Oriami on the attack. This Kings starting to get something going offensively.
Yeah, with the Kings team, they have a couple of their main players. Neal, I've seen her play before. I know that she can get hot. Boris is doing a great job offensively. Oriami's getting right back into the mix offensively. You want to see them continuously contribute for the last 5 minutes. I think that's what's going to really be the difference maker for them, because Moore is having a really, really tough time with the Durham defense on the inside.
And how critical do you think it's going to be now to get Washington going? She's been so key throughout the game. Obviously, the third quarter was a period where she was out for a stretch. She had 3 to start this quarter. Is she the big key for them down the last 5 minutes, or are they established that everybody's kind of contributing?
Everybody has really been a contributor for the team. I think if they can continue to get Demiki, Bailey, and Washington involved in some of the things that they're doing offensively, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape. But the thing that has really been working for Durham is their defense. So if they continue to work at that and provide opportunities for them and more opportunities for them from offensively, especially in the fast break, because I feel like that's where they've gotten more of their opportunities, then I think they're going to be in pretty good shape for this last part of the game. It's shaping up to be a really close game at the end of this game, so we'll see how that goes down the stretch. It's
been back and forth. As you said, 35 minutes into this thing, it's been back and forth the entire time. So we have 5:14 on the clock, and I'm expecting a strong finish here from both. Everything we've been hoping for in the game of the week here on OSBA TV.
Exciting game so far.
It'll be Durham ball, baseline on the bounce. Washington gets the first touch, and away we go. Washington flex to bring O'Hara to the block, so looking inside for her. She goes to her left and a nice little scoop, and O'Hara makes a nice up and under.
Great move. She used her long arms to really scoop it under the defender. Great finish by O'Hara.
So while it remains one possession, it is 3 points, and now Kings looks a little lost here where they're trying to get an offense, but they do get inside to Moore with 5 to go. She gets a one-on-one coverage, but can't get the shot to fall. Nice job by Chadwick in the one-on-one. Demiki, clean look in transition, and that's good. Kings got a little lost there. Demiki got open, and she hits 3 more here in her big second half.
That 3-guard combination is doing some great stuff for the Durham elite team in this last half.
Tipped by O'Hara, but Stupar's going to run that thing down. Neal now punches in. She sees Oriami in the corner. Nice challenge coming out there by Bailey. Oriami's shot was heavy. It gets knocked out of bounds, so we got a 6-point lead, 69-63, 4 minutes to go. Kings showing some pressure here, trying to disrupt the Durham offense. Chadwick's open in the corner. That's going to be off the front of the rim. It won't go. Mora's going to gobble that up. And they're going to get – this will be on Washington on a rebounding foul, so that's going to be her 4th. And that's an interesting dynamic to watch it play out here in the last little bit. And they're going to give Washington a quick breather here. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Alicia, how long do you think you have to give your best player, we'll say arguably one of your best players, a breather here with 4 minutes to go in the game?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think we're going to have to keep it a little bit short. She's just been so great for the team. I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be really tough. But if they can keep this lead, they can get her in sooner rather than later.
So Pleo Messiman is the one that came in for Washington. Durham steals the inbound attempt by Kings, and now they have the ball back. So possession and a 6-point lead. Demiki looks underneath, finds Chadwick. She's unable to get that shot up, but O'Hara's wide open at the top. Can't get 2 in a row to go. Chadwick follows, though. She's a little off balance. That won't go. She follows again, though. Here's Demiki. Little hesitation. Gets into the paint, and she draws the contact. Demiki's big second half continues. So we'll give her 12 points and counting here in the second half. She's going to go to the line, the chance to add 2 more to it. Kings will sub. Hartman coming out. Ollie Lamara coming back in.
I tell you, one of the most frustrating things as a player was going through a round of defense and then having the other team get an offensive rebound for you to then continue to play another round of defense.
Yes.
And then now put them on the line for free shots. Tough possession there for Kings Christian.
Absolutely.
Great for Durham Elite, though.
Yeah, and Kings need some stops right now. When you're trailing, those are so big. So Demiki makes good on the first. The second one's a bit heavy. No call on what looked to be a potential violation, but they got back and set. Now Ollie Lamar is going to get a shot from the corner. That's good. That's one they needed. A defender fell on the first drive. No one found her when she got to the corner, and she made him pay. So it's 3 points. It cuts the lead to 70-66. And now right back with a big defensive pressure. Kings is in player-to-player defense, but pressure on the basketball. Bors just misses on the steal. The double teams comes, and Bors does get that one. So nice job by Soriano jumping into it. Bors follows the play, gets a tip. It goes cross court. Ollie Lamar is going to go again. She thought about the three. She got it for the drive. A little hesitation, and she travels.
Again, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You want to see when Durham is going to start to slow things down a little bit. I know that they've been working at this fast pace, both defensive and offensively, but I think this is the time's running down. They have the lead. Just kind of slow things down and let Kings Christian run through some defense. Run them through a shot clock. Let them play hard defensively, and then see what you get from that.
And we get the return of Washington on that. So 2.5 to go. So it was a minute and a half break that she got. Messman does a tremendous job holding the fort in that time. Washington now in to finish. They go back to the flex for Ahara. See if they can get it back to her. Chadwick on the roll instead. That one doesn't fall. Mora gets the rebound. Oriami a part of that process. Ollie Lamar is going to take possession for Kings here. Soriano looks for more. The ball's tipped at the point of the pass. They lose possession. Durham's going to look up, though. They got Demiki in transition. She spins off at a beautiful move, but it won't fall. O'Hara follows. That's knocked away. And they'll maintain possession. Demiki, a beautiful move in transition, and the ball just won't stay down.
It's going to be key for Kings Christian. Every possession is really going to count here. They're down by 4. Time's running down. They're going to really need to have great possessions offensively.
And they show zone, a little miscommunication there, but the ball is saved by Chadwick. The pass in between two teammates. Washington now tipped away and a bit of a step back. She gets followed by Soriano in transition. It's left a little short. Demiki, a nice challenge. Washington's back up. She's fine. Demiki now in transition. Finds Bailey. She gets a look. It's just a little short. Chadwick follow. Washington will reset.
Again, you want to see Durham slow things down a little bit, not take quick shots. They have the lead.
O'Hara heavy, that doesn't catch much. Demiki tries to keep it alive. We're going to have possession going to Kings. Shot clock also expired. Got a minute 10 left, and we're going to have a timeout Kings. So, Alicia, here we go. We're down 4. You're down 70-66. You're Kings right now. You get this timeout. You have the ball. What are you doing now down in this scenario? It's 2 possessions. You've got time for that. What's the approach?
Absolutely. You want to get a quick bucket here. Get a great shot at the rim. So draw something up to get a great shot at the rim for them. And then they want to come down. It's going to be stop, score here. They're really going to have to get some stops defensively.
And then what do you think is the importance of getting the ball to Mora? Is that somewhere you go in this scenario, or is that something that you would use as a decoy? Or what do you do with Mora in this situation as well, too, knowing that she's drawn a double team all game long? And do you assume that continues?
I think that they use that as a decoy. I don't think that she hasn't necessarily been super effective for them by getting it down to her in the low block. So I think using that as a decoy and getting it out to some of their hot players that have come in. I mean, I think Neil has done a great job drawing out something for her or Lauren on the perimeter, getting to the basket, and even using either Oriami or Neil, drawing some defenders to get Mora in there quickly. And Mora's been doing a great job of being active on the glass. So even if they get to the rim, Mora's going to do a great job of catching up some of those loose balls and getting on the rebounds. So
chance to use her rebounding. Yeah. Well, this will be, a big possession. It's not everything yet. We're not down to that type of scenario in the game, but definitely getting down to the important possessions. As a quick recap for those at home, 3 team fouls right now on Durham. Only 1 team foul on Kings. A minute 10 to go. Kings ball here on the sideline. Oriami's going to get an early trap by Durham that they get out of. So it gets to Mora, so she's going to finish. So the early trap pays off for Kings as they get through it. Washington now back to the way. 2-point game. Chadwick to Demiki. Demiki's going to square things up, but they go back to Washington to get some offense initiated. 10 seconds here on the clock. Washington's going to get a chance for a good, clean pull-up. It's a little heavy, though, but O'Hara's going to follow. She's blocked by Mora. Just protects the rim. O'Hara hits the floor. She won a foul, but Mora protected the area. Challenge shot straight up. We look to the clock here. There's going to be a timeout. Timeout Durham now. So 14 on the shot clock. 11 on the shot clock, sorry. 43 seconds to go. So now if you're Durham, Alicia, you got a 2-point lead. What's your approach going into this timeout?
It's important for them to get a stop right here. They absolutely need to get a stop. And they want to make sure that they're getting a stop, a score, but they want to get one of the last few possessions, right? So they want to secure that defensive possession, but they want to come down here and get a great shot. They want to get some time off the clock. That's if Kings Christian doesn't score. They want to get one of the last two possessions in the game.
So this is a big situation. We'll flip the role from you now. All your time as a high-level athlete, but now also doing some coaching. How much do you think your team can take in this scenario? Can you talk about what you're doing on offense and do something different on defense in what's probably going to be 3 or 4 possessions? Or do you have to focus on one end or the other in these timeouts with your team?
It's tough. You have to focus on one end or the other, but you hope that your team is prepared enough to play in some of these situations. And that's why in practices you go through situational plays and doing some situation stuff down at the end of practices. That's where those things come into play in games like these where you cannot coach every aspect of the game, but you hope that your players can run off of instinct and know what needs to be done.
Well, every possession's so big. We're going to take a Durham ball on the baseline right now. They lead by 2. Kings is going to come out into zone defense. 11 on the shot clock. Goes a corner. There's going to be a chance for a trap. Soriano's a little late to that, though, so Durham gets out of it. It's going to be Washington. Thought about the step back, but it's going to be O'Hara now on the left wing. It's going to be blocked again by Mora. Her second of the possession. Tied up, and I think the shot clock is going to go. So big credit to Christina Mora. She's been battling all game long. It's 2 huge blocks down the stretch here to give them a chance. 30 seconds to go, and it's going to be Kings ball. They're going to play it out. I stand credit. They're going to take the timeout.
And let me tell you, that's exactly where Mora has been effective for them, is off of the ball. You know, she's normally somebody that they go and they look to for scoring, but great players find other ways to be effective for their team. And she's been that. She's been a great player by being very active on the glass and finding openings where she can get tips and things like that. And then also here, altering shots defensively, getting blocks, and securing loose balls. Those are the things that you want to see from great players. Some players, it can go either way. You can get really frustrated and take yourself completely out of the game, but you can tell that Mora is a very advanced player and that she's a great player in her attitude and the way that she's bringing some contribution to her team in such a tough matchup for herself.
Yeah, she's drawn a lot of attention today in a lot of areas, as you said, and she's been extremely impactful. So we go down to this last one. The last possession that Kings had, and Durham came out and trapped immediately, which Kings got through and ended up getting to Mora for a layup. What do you think Durham's going to do this time now? Is this something you do a little more straight up, or do you throw some sort of different look at Kings again, see if you can keep them at a rhythm?
I think playing them a little bit more straight up because a couple of people are really contributing for Kings Christian right now, but continuing to double team Mora. If she gets it in the paint, you want to continue to double her because those are some things that have worked well for them. You don't want to see them go away from the things that have been working for them throughout the whole game.
So both teams still with at least one foul to give. Kings ball now. It's Oriami's going to go baseline. She's got Soriano down here. She puts it back on the floor, though. It moves around. There's Boers. Oriami, she was too deep. She thought about it. Neal gets in there. She goes to the floater. It's a little short. Oriami tracks it down. Boers, she's not going to go. Oriami's back to the rim herself. That's going to come a little heavy. Tipped around, collected. Bailey gets it. Clock's ticking now. Washington escapes some foul. The clock runs down to 3 seconds. So nice job by Durham. Clinton running out some clock. Kings had a couple of looks, couldn't get it to go.
Absolutely, and I know the coaches were really upset because the foul came so late for them to slow the ball down so that they can get another possession to put some pressure on the inbound.
Well, they still had that was the second foul. This will be the third team foul for Kings at this stage. They're going to have to give 2 more fouls here to get the ball back. It's almost going to play more for steal than foul at this time, I think, if you're Kings.
And you wonder if they could have probably added a few more fouls in at the beginning when they saw that the game was getting a little close, seeing where the foul count was, just to allow themselves to get into a bonus situation at this time. I mean, tough one down the stretch for Kings.
Yeah, this is a great game. The things we look forward to in the OSBA game of the week. Things that go right down to the wire like this, and so many possessions meaning so much. But I agree with you. In hindsight, you kind of wonder, could you have given a couple fouls somewhere in there just to have that be less of a factor? But it's always a tough balance. Like, do you want to foul while you're trying to get stops as well?
Absolutely.
So a great game. Alicia, thank you for filling in.
Thank you for
Hopefully we get
having
this
me.
chance again soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did
I
a
had
tremendous
fun.
job. And we want to say thanks to Tamara for filling in for the halftime interview as well, too. So thanks again.
Thank you.
We'll be back for OSBA Game of the Week. The next broadcast is going to be next Thursday in Brantford. Look forward to seeing everybody there.